Okay, back again. I was just getting so hot and I couldn't understand why, so I turned the air conditioner up in the house. I don't know why I'm feeling so hot all of a sudden, but it was really uncomfortable. And I don't want to be uncomfortable on camera. So I apologize if you can hear the air conditioner, but it's gotta, I'm one of those people that I definitely do not save money in the summer. That is for sure. I need my house like an ice box at all times. In the winter, I save money because I still want my house to be an ice box, which is a whole lot easier to accomplish. Okay, so Summerset is one of my favorite candles from Kringle, but I had not bought the new 100% soy reformulation, and the color does look so pretty, and they were really on sale, and I was like, okay, I'll try it, and I'll hope for the best, fingers crossed. Unfortunately, and I had a Summerset here, although I don't have it with me here on camera, but I burned, or I crocked the tail end of a Summerset candle, a 100% paraffin one that I had last month. And so I had it out and I compared them. And this one, the fragrance has changed since it's been reformulated. It's a much brighter and fruitier fragrance now than before. It was a lot more bassy. It had amazing like sandalwood creamy musk component down on bottom, which just made the entire thing amazing. There is this intoxicating, especially like a nectarous kind of fruit with cream and sandalwood, and it's like an adult version of a creamsicle. Like it just is so fantastic. And unfortunately, it's kind of lost on this now. No, I'm not happy with it, but it's still a nice fragrance. It's still a beautiful fragrance. It really is. And if you don't know the difference and you didn't know what it was before, you may be very happy with it. And who knows, there's probably people who will be more happy with it now that it's even more fruit forward and less sandalwood and musk. But for me personally, I like the way it was formulated before, so I'm not particularly happy. But it is what it is, and I'll burn it. I'll burn it. And then I bought a couple that were in the spring collection, and then I have been patiently waiting this entire year for a sale on them, and I finally got one. And actually, I think this one was the spring and summer of last year, and I still didn't get a good sale on it, but I finally did. Grapefruit and rosemary. So I bought this as a daylight, and I loved it. Woo! I'm always chasing a good grapefruit candle, and I really like this one. This one is very bitter, very bitter. And I think a lot of people said that was because there was too much rosemary in it. I mean, it may be the case that they're using a certain kind of distilled rosemary oil that is just very bitter. I would have liked more rosemary in it. And by that, I mean, I would want a more authentic green living rosemary kind of smell. I don't know that the rosemary oil they're using here gives that off at all. It may just contribute bitterness. I think there is also a great deal of like pith and rind and zest in this candle. And if you know grapefruit, you know that's going to be real bitter. And so there's an authenticity there. And I love that. I love the bitterness and the sourness of a grapefruit. That's fantastic to me. However, if you're not into that aspect of a grapefruit, you may not like this candle. And a lot of people didn't, but I did. So I'm so happy to try this. I obviously probably won't burn it until next spring, but I was so happy to get one of those. I got this one, and I kind of hemmed and hawed over this, like whether or not I was gonna get it or not. This is Lemon Tea and Roses, which was for this spring. There's no notes on this one. It's a conceptual. It's a spring conceptual. It's a little bit perfumey. And it has a good amount of like some citrus in it. Possibly some lemon, but if it's lemon, it's really used beautifully. And there's, as I've said many times before, there are a million different ways that a lemon fragrance note can go wrong. A million. And I've not been happy with several of Kringle's lemon candles. I really like the way lemon is used in this one. It's just blending perfectly. And again, it does kind of have a creamy dimension to it, a la what I was talking to you about with Summerset, where you've got those nice juicy or nectarous kind of fruits along with a big creamy component, especially if it's kind of a little bit musky. Oh, yeah. I like them both. This is a little more stripped down than the Summerset is, which is appropriate for something that's supposed to be like a little bit on the zen side. I'm getting more of a lemon verbena from it than a straight up tea. And I can't remember if lemon verbena is listed. But I liked it enough, and especially at that price point, to go ahead and get one. And how beautiful is that color? Oh, you know I love the colored waxes. Look at the colored wax. It's so pretty. And then one more, and this was also from the spring collection. This is Cotton Flowers. And look at that. Yes. Oh, I love this candle. This one was panned, and oh, it's over poured too. Do you see how like that got all in? I suppose you'd rather have it over poured than under poured though, you know. Okay, so this has been a weird journey for me because when I initially smelled many Kringle fragrances, I did not like them. And believe me, I tried to like them so hard. I wanted to like the Kringle fragrances. Many of their fragrances, like 6, 7, 8 years ago, had this mint note in it, usually with like an apple or with something else that was kind of sweet. And I just don't like it. I did not like it. I'm not sure that I love mint and home fragrance, period. But like, I'm thinking Dewdrops. I'm also thinking Spa Day. There were a couple others. And I burned and burned them, and I hated them every single time I burned them. I just did. I don't like it. And there were people that loved it. God bless. I was not one of them, and I just groaned every time Kringle would do another mint fragrance, right? So I don't know if my nose has changed or if Kringle is starting to nail it. You know what I mean? Like after years of experimenting with mint and finding the things that really blend well with it, they're actually starting to get the knack of it, and the blends are, I don't know, it could be some percentage of both. But I live for this mint candle. I really do. It's very sweet, but it's not mentholated in such a way that you just think like, oh, this is a winter candle. And here it's blended with a beautiful white floral, and I believe it's freesia. And you know what I think about freesia. Oh, freesia is such an underutilized fragrance note. Oh, mint and freesia. Such bad marketing. They marketed this as cotton flower, and you expect a laundry day scent, and it's just not. There was one time I was smelling it, and I'm like, am I getting a cotton nuance? Is that a cotton blossom? But it's only been one time of smelling it like 73 times because I smell it all the time. I'm really not getting anything overtly soapy or linen-like or cotton-like. So the marketing and branding on here is just really wrong. It's really wrong. And it's really sad too, because there were a lot of people who I think would not have bought, including myself. I'm like not a laundry day kind of girl. And I'm looking at the eucalyptus and the cotton there, and they had a eucalyptus and cotton candle in that spring collection at the same time. There was much truer to it being a eucalyptus cotton candle. This one looked redundant, but it's actually a completely different candle because this is not about cotton at all. It's about freesia and mint, and it's fruity and fresh and spa-like, and man, there's just something about the mint and the freesia that just go together so well and also give off this like watery green quality. It's just fantastic. It's one of the best candles I've smelled from Kringle in a long time. So I'm really happy to get that one and to burn that one up. I just had it in a daylight, but I adored it. And then their discontinued ones that I bought, I can't help it. I got 2 of these cherry trees. Cherry Tree was one of the first candles by Kringle that I reviewed on this channel, and I adore this fragrance. I don't think it's ever done as well as it should have done because, again, it was mismarketed and, oh man, that's good. Mismarketed and misbranded. And it's so ridiculous too because as with cotton flowers, it's redundant. Like they already had a cherry blossom fragrance in their collection in the country line. And yeah, at the same time, actually, did they have 2 cherry blossom? I think they had 2 cherry blossom fragrances. 2 cherry, one in Kringle, one in country, and then they had cherry tree. So it was just a lot. And this one, at least it does not burn to me like a cherry tree fragrance. Yes, it's fruity, but as I mentioned in the review before, to me it comes across more as a brandy, almost as a boozy kind of brandy quality. And it's because unlisted, there is a huge, it might be amber, but it smells like honey. It smells like honey, and when it's burned, especially for a long time, it becomes even more honey-like. So then it's like honey, and then a faint booziness, and then this fruitiness, but it's not like a fresh fruit. It's like a macerated and distilled kind of fruit, which makes you think port or brandy, some sort of like rich amber-colored aperitif. Oh, it's so good for September, which you would never know, right? Honestly, this is one of my favorite candles from Kringle, and oh, it just makes me, it's so tragic that it just didn't find its audience because it was mismarketed. I don't know what to say. And then, of course, I bought cherry chai because I can't help it. I just finished up one of these in the crock. You know the story. I panned this candle when it first came out. Like, I took a moment and I just, like, made fun of Kringle and was like, what kind of chai are they talking about? There's no spices, there's no whatever. And it's true, there aren't. It's not a chai in any traditional sense. It's really just a very creamy cherry fragrance that walks super close to being medicinal, but then especially when it's burned, just is this beautiful, sweet, soft, like, traditional cherry fruit kind of candle. And with all of, I mean, this is a very trending fragrance note right now with Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And I just feel bad for cherry chai too, because I'm like, if you had come out in the last year, you would have been a huge hit. But no, you had to come out 3 years ago when nobody cared about Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And then nobody bought you. So if it's still on the website for like $5 or $6, grab one, especially if you're in the like Tom Ford Lost Cherry kind of crowd. All right, and then I have a stack of 6 wax melts here. This is, I bought this as a daylight once, which is Harvest Moon. I think I've bought it as a daylight twice, and I keep buying it because, and I don't know why, because I don't actually like the fragrance. And I was reminded of it when I got it home, and I'm like, oh, right, I don't like this. But you know why I keep buying it? Because Harvest Moon is such an amazing name. And look at that label. Harvest Moon. I mean, I don't even need to know what the notes are. Yes, put it in my cart. So that's how I've bought this 3 times and can never quite remember that I don't like it. I don't really know what the fragrance notes are because they're not on here, but I can tell you that it's essentially a cinnamon clove fragrance. Emphasis on the cinnamon. Cinnamon, then clove, maybe some ginger. And all things being equal, I like cinnamon, clove, and ginger, but the cinnamon that they're using here comes super close to being red hot. Well, that's a deal breaker for me. It's not true red hot, but it's kind of red hot, and it's just a no for me. And it's not what I expect a Harvest Moon to smell like. It's just not. So it's a no for me. All right, and then I had, let's put these in the right order. We will put them in the right order. I have 2 from the fall line. I have, no, 3 from the fall line. I have 1 from the winter line last year. And I have 1 from a January limited edition collection. So let's go chronologically. Here was the one from the winter line that I did not smell last time, which is Winter Woods with that elk on there with the antlers. Look at that. It was really nice. It sold out really quickly. I was interested in this one, but every time I went to try to like get it in the format that I liked, it was sold out. So that was that. I like this one. I really do. Yes, it's got mint in it, but this one goes much more cool weather because it also has balsam in it, right? Mint, balsam, and it's very sweet. A lot of sugar. Yeah, it's like a sugared, like a peppermint almost. But it also has like regular mint and fir. And there is kind of a green note in it too, like a botanical greenness, which is really nice and keeps it from just being another standard peppermint kind of fragrance. And keeps it from being like super mentholated too. So I like it. I like it. I don't know that it changes my life, but I like what I'm smelling there. Then this one was from January, Knit Sweaters. And I didn't buy it for a whole host of reasons. This is one that was kind of cashmere-like apparently, but it had coffee in it, which intrigued me. But then everybody was like, oh, there isn't very much coffee, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, reports were kind of lukewarm and they kind of never went on sale. And so I was like, okay. So but they were these, when I was looking at the wax melts that I wouldn't mind trying some fragrances out in, this was one that I just wanted to try. And I'm so glad I did because I love it. I love it. I love it so much, in fact, that when I almost made an order for the new Fall Reserve candles yesterday, I put it in my cart. No, I didn't. I looked for it. It sold out. It sold out in the medium. I was so disappointed. They only had it in the regular full size, and I'm a medium girl. I'll wait for the medium. But I definitely would want to buy this one. So, and I think a couple of the brand ambassadors said this, totally correct. This smells a lot like amber, I think it's called Amber and Sandalwood from Yankee Candle. A lot like Amber and Sandalwood. It's a very aggressive Amber and Sandalwood. Amber and Sandalwood from Yankee has never really been my favorite, but I kind of like this one. In fact, I actually think it's better than Yankee's Amber and Sandalwood. And yes, there is a little coffee nuance in there. There really is. And I didn't notice it at first. I was just like, huh. But one of these times I was walking by and I picked it up and I smelled it and I was like, is that coffee I'm smelling there? And it just like added something there that I liked, that I think is fantastic. So with the amber and the sandalwood, and then with the coffee, it does kind of go into one of those like cozy cashmere January burn kind of places. And I just really like it. So yes, if it does restock, and I don't know if it will because it might just be limited edition, but if it did restock in the medium jar or the large jar was offered for a medium price, I guess maybe I would get it. If they're not going to report it in medium. Here's another one that I loved, and it was in my cart. Kittens and Cashmere. Guys, it's a mint, and it's another one of those mint fragrances that is so fantastic. I just think Kringle is starting to really nail it with the mint fragrances. Like, really nail it. And I'm not even a mint person, but they have made me a believer. Oh, this is so nice. And look how cute This is one of those ones that everybody wanted for the cute label and then didn't like the fragrance. I totally expected to hate the fragrance, and I don't really care about cats. And here I am, the one who loves it. Lucky cats for me. Oh man, this is good. It's mint, but it has a bit of an herbal bite to it on the end. When I was a girl, we lived for a certain period of time out in the country, and like wild chives and mint would sometimes grow, and we would eat it, you know, because why not? We would just chew on it. And when you chew on like wild mint, for instance, there's this like really bitter herbal taste that you get on the back of it, you know? Like when you're actually chewing the leaves themselves, and it kind of smells like that. Like almost grassy a little bit. A grassy herb with some cinnamon, I think. And then this like creamy cashmere kind of sandalwood cream about it. I'm sorry I don't have the notes here, so I can't tell you specifically, but that's kind of what I'm smelling. Is a dominant mint, like a sweet mint, a spearmint, with this like herbal grassy finish. And I think some cinnamon maybe. And then some, because it's warm. Like those things you would think would be kind of cool. And then there's just this warmth, like right. It's being, I think that's what I mean when I say that Kringle, I think, is blending these mint fragrances very well. They're starting to blend them with the right things. Like in a genius kind of way. Yes, that's it. It's kind of like when you say you're not a Brussels sprout person and then you go to this fancy restaurant and you're like, I've never liked Brussels sprouts before, but you made me love it with this dish. That's kind of how I feel with some of these mint fragrances that they've come out with lately. I'm really loving it, but maybe I'm just losing my grip. I don't know. Then the other two, these are from the fall collection, and I think that they were available in the 3 wicks, but I didn't really think I was gonna like them, and so I just went with wax melts, even though the price ratio was not great on it, because I just suspected they were gonna be too gourmand for me, and they are. Pumpkin Rum Toddy is actually really nice. But it has this unmistakable Michael's Craft Store vibe to it. Like, I swear sometimes I'm just smelling like plastic, like price tags and, oh gosh, and like metal stanchions or something. Like, I mean, it just smells like Michael's Craft Store with all the paper products and everything. And then it's got all of the usual fall spices. The good thing is that the fall spices here that they're using are really lovely. I mean, and you feel as though you've probably smelled every pumpkin spice combination you possibly could. And yet every now and then you just smell one and you're like, it's still good. Every time, it's just good. This one is particularly good, and it's got a fruitiness to it, possibly because the rum toddy part of it is giving us some amount of like almost brandy like fruitiness. But there's no booze in it. I would have liked it better if it had real booze in it. So I'll melt it, but I'll be surprised if that's one that I'll need to repurchase. And then Salted Maple Pumpkin is a very nice caramel forward roasty pumpkin spice. Yeah, like almost a savory browned butter kind of smell. Yeah, it's fine. It's just not. I'm not a huge gourmand person, and it doesn't like change my life. So I'm happy to melt those, but I doubt that I'll probably buy those as candles. So there you go. I will link everything down below if it's available. If you've stayed this long and want to know why I did not purchase yesterday or the day before that, I was so excited. I really was. I like greedily watched every single review on YouTube that I could about these limited edition candles, because I thought there were several that I was interested in, and I was even going to get the pumpkin spice latte. At first I wasn't, because initial reports were that it didn't have a whole lot of coffee in it, but then there were some post-burn reviews that said there was coffee in it. So at the end I'm like, just put it in, especially since I'm doing like coffee week coming up, and Yankee Candle just put out their pumpkin spice latte. Like, I had pumpkin spice latte in my cart. Oh my gosh, sunflower and suede. I was so excited about that one. That was like my number one. Sunflower, suede, and pumpkin spice latte, and what was the other one? Oh, the moss one. Yes, the moss one. And then I was kind of hemming and hawing over the smoke and oak one. I wasn't sure about that one. And then I got Kittens and Cashmere, and I was gonna pay for it full price. I mean, I was just like, I want Kittens and Cashmere, so I got that one. And then I would have gotten the knitted sweaters, but they didn't have a medium. Anyway, so I had the cart, and I saw on the Facebook group that there was a 20% off coupon. It was just 20% off, and it was one per account, and I was really excited about that. So I went back to the Facebook. Well, I tried it in my cart and it wasn't working. So then I went back to the Facebook page for like Kringle. It's like their Kringle group. And then I started reading all of these like posts from people, customers, who were reporting that halfway through the day, Kringle shut off all of the discount codes for the reserve candles, with the exception of the ambassadors affiliate codes. Those are the only ones that would work. And people were really upset about it, like really upset. And I was kind of reading them all, and I was like, huh. So here's the deal, if you're not a Kringle person. I have noticed this. The last time that I purchased, and it was a long time ago that I purchased from Kringle, I just found out by mistake. I wrote a review for a candle on Kringle's website, and they kicked me back a 25% off coupon, which is really good for Kringle. And I saved it, and then when I did, and it was like a reserve collection kind of purchase. Instead of using just the 15 affiliate one, I used the 25 one, and it was so good. And I felt good too, because I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable using affiliate discount codes. There are a couple brand ambassadors that I really, really like, and I do use their codes if I have to. But I would prefer to not have to use their code. And I can't even explain to you all the reasons why. I just am starting to feel uncomfortable about it. So I was excited to hear about so anyway, when I bought these Halloween ones, I made sure to write a review a few days before about another candle on the Kringle website. And I'm like, I'll get that 25% off, and then I'll use that. And then it didn't work. And I thought it was just, I take that back. I didn't get the 25% off coupon. It wasn't that it didn't work. It's that I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, bummer. And then I thought, well, maybe they aren't giving 25% offs anymore for like writing a review. And I was like, okay, well, that's all right. And I really wanted the candle, so I just used an affiliate code, a brand ambassador's code, for the Halloween ones. But I thought it was maybe they just weren't giving out the 25s or whatever. Anyway, what happened is that a lot of other people were doing the same thing. And when these limited edition, like, these Halloween ones are like the reserve ones, which almost never go on sale. When they come out, and now they're like $34, when they come out, a lot of other people were doing reviews and then using a 25% off. Or sometimes because of their points, they could apply a 20% off or something like that. So I guess a lot of people were doing that, and they would save a 25% off coupon specifically for the reserve candles, because often those coupons will only work on regular priced candles. Yeah? They won't work if there's some other kind of sale. So very understandably, a lot of people save them up for reserve candles because they almost never go on sale, you know? If you really want the candles at the first release, you could use a coupon, or as I did with some of these, you just have to wait months and months and months for there to be a sale. But with a reserve candle, they will never go on sale, never. So your best bet is to just try to buy, especially when there's like so much pressure. They're gonna sell out, blah, 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 limited edition. Like you just try to get as good a coupon as you can and go with that, right? Well, apparently halfway through the launch, they turned off all the coupons with the exception of the affiliate brand ambassador codes. And so certain people were able to get their discount of 20 and 25. And then if you ordered later in the day, you couldn't. And there was no notification, like it just happened. And literally the people with their 25% off coupons, like in the fine print, it says can be used on any full price candle at Kringle Candle Company, you know, on their website. So literally the fine print gave no exception or any disclaimer to the contrary. So they were really understandably upset. And it just kind of looked like Kringle was like, oh, we're losing money, take all the coupons away. And apparently now through the grapevine, there's been whispering about how this is going to be a policy going forward, that you can't use coupons on specific limited edition candles. And a lot of the people online were just so upset. And many of them, they're like counting their coins, waiting for payday. They're really huge like fans, obviously, on the Facebook page, but like they're not made of money. And they really wanted the candles, but at the same time, that 20% meant a lot to them. And then all of a sudden, it was like the only coupon you can use is an affiliate 15% off, in which case, it's giving a kickback to the people who got all the candles for free in the first place. And it just started feeling scammy and kind of pyramid-y, if that makes sense. And like, honestly, like I have a candle channel and I have the money and I could have bought them. But reading all of those comments, it took the joy out of it for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took the joy out and it made me really upset in my spirit. And I just thought, this just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. And I'm not blaming the brand ambassadors. I'm really not. They didn't plan or plot this entire like system. They really didn't. I think that they really love Kringle and I think that they are honest, like to the best of their ability. But it probably was a mistake when they went from being influencers, which I know they didn't like that name, but when they went from being influencers to being brand ambassadors, that was just not a change in words. Like the brand ambassadors have now become sales associates. And I don't know that they realize that. And I do think they're being used a little bit by the company itself. So maybe they're victims kind of in this too, but like they're part of the Kringle family now. They're not just like independent candle reviewers. Like they're on the payroll for Kringle. They're given these free candles and they sell them to us. It's as simple as that, you know? And then, and now with many of these high priced candles that we're being urged to buy, and like this last reserve candle launch was huge. I mean, everybody got PR, like there were a ton of reviews. So I think this was a really big push for Kringle and like they were gonna get their money out of it. And in the end, the only small discount that you could use was one that was giving a kickback to, frankly, the people who had sold them in the first place and got them for free. And it's just striking a lot of people as not quite right, including myself. And I have become increasingly uncomfortable using affiliate discounts myself. And I want to support the company. And I want to support the brand ambassadors, but I'm just not sure that this is the right way to do it. So going forward, my policy for buying new releases for Kringle is I refuse to buy unless it's a significant discount. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to mess around with a 15% that's an affiliate code. And if I have to wait 6, 8, 18 months to get the kind of sale that I like, then it needs to be that way. It's as simple as that, you know? It's kind of like back in the day where you would like wait for something to come out on Netflix and then get the DVD in the mail. And no, it actually would be cooler if you could just see the movie in the theater. But if you refuse to pay that kind of money, then that's what you have to do, right? And so for me, that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to wait until I get the sale that I get. And if that means that I never buy reserve candles going forward, it means I don't buy reserve candles. But for me personally, I think $34 is too steep. I just do. I mean, yes, Yankee Candle sells their candles for $34. Bath and Body Works does too now, at least some of their fancy ones. But Bath and Body Works and Yankee Candle almost never expect to sell the candle at that price point. They're constantly running sales after sales after sales, right? And usually they're fairly frequent. It's not like you have to wait like biannually to get a good sale from Yankee or from Bath and Body Works. You're a fool if you pay $34 for that candle, right? I just am not convinced that Kringle is giving us a product that is $34 worthy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't think so. And there are contributing factors to that have nothing to do with the quality of the item itself. The fact that there are no brick and mortar stores where we can smell these candles. That means that we're not only paying shipping, but then on top of it, most of the time, all of the time, we're paying and getting candles shipped to us blind. We do not know how they smell. We don't. And for many of us as consumers, that makes the product less valuable, not more valuable. Like, we're not going to pay a premium on top of it for candles that we haven't smelled, that we're not confident about, and that we have to pay shipping and can't easily return. I'm comfortable spending about $10 to $12 on a Bath and Body Works candle, and I can go and smell it. And I'm confident about it before I put it in my bag and bring it to my house. No shipping, right? $10 to $12 is where I like to keep it. For Kringle, I don't know. For me personally, I don't want to spend any more than $20 on a Kringle candle. When I start thinking about the blind buy and the shipping, I like to keep it in the $15 range for a Kringle candle. 15 is my sweet spot. I don't mind paying a $5 premium over like a Bath and Body Works, but I'm also paying for shipping and I don't know what I'm getting. And I just wonder if like Kringle is slowly starting to lose touch with what their consumers are willing to do. And as the price point has gone up and the people that are selling these candles to us are people who are getting them for free and that also get a kickback when we do buy them full price or very close to it, I just think that there's backlash. I think there's backlash, and I think there's understandable backlash. And I think that the fact that there hasn't been more backlash up to this point is because in a lot of respects it's a beautiful candle company and it's run by some amazing people. And there's a great deal of brand loyalty there. That if that were not there, I don't think that they could have carried on with this kind of business model as long as they have. And I just would urge maybe Kringle to think about it. I sent an email to Kringle like a few days ago. This was before this even happened. Because I was driving and I was thinking, and I was actually thinking about like how amazing this candle is, for instance. How much I love Kittens and Cashmere. And this is just kind of an idiosyncrasy, but a lot of the brand ambassadors all share the same fragrance profiles. And so sometimes like a certain candle will just be panned that I end up getting and really, really liking. And I thought to myself, like, actually, it would have helped Kringle if I had gotten this candle at the same time as the brand ambassadors, because I have different scent preferences. And like, I could have given a fair shake to Cotton Flowers and Kittens and Cashmere. You know what I mean? And then I just thought, but I don't want to be a brand ambassador and I don't want an affiliate code and I don't want any of that, you know? So I sent Kringle an email and I was like, would you consider just for people who have who are candle reviewers, who have a pretty good audience, whatever else, is there a possibility that there could be a program whereby we could buy the candles at a steep discount, say 50% or something? If we could buy the candles before they came out, so an upcoming release, purchase the ones that we want and review them. And I don't want an affiliate code. I'm not going to call myself an ambassador. I just want access to be able to buy them before, preferably at a discount. And then to be honest with the consumer as to, look, here's what I bought the candle for. Would I buy this candle at full price or close to it? Would I buy this candle at a marginal discount? Would I buy this candle at a steep discount? Right? You just try to be honest, kind of like that. And I just think that if I at least had paid some amount for these candles and I was not getting any kind of a kickback from the company, right? And they were just open. I mean, obviously there would be standards, you would have to be a reviewer with some amount of social media influence, right? But if they just kind of opened it up more neutrally to reviewers who wanted the candles beforehand without picking and choosing, and, I just wonder if that would help with not only credibility, but I think a lot more people would get them. And I think it would, I'm contacted all the time by folks who watch my videos and are like, I'm never buying from Kringle again. I've blocked all of the brand ambassadors, don't let it get to that place where the backlash is so harsh that it's whatever you do is going to be too little too late, right? I don't know. Anyway, I just sent an email about whether they would consider it. I'm pretty sure that I'm either not going to hear from them or they're going to be absolutely not, and that's fine. I hope I kind of planted the seed, but I just wonder, especially with this last release, as if it was kind of maybe the straw that broke the camel's back a little bit, with all of the coupons all of a sudden being pulled abruptly for no reason, only the affiliate codes working, so that the people who got them for free got a kickback, and there were no other discounts available. I'm just wondering if it was a really bad PR moment and maybe kind of a come to Jesus moment for a lot of Kringle consumers who all of a sudden are realizing these are really high priced, and have I been duped? And I don't know that I'm comfortable doing this anymore. I just don't know that I am. And like I said, I hope that it just doesn't come across as attacking the brand ambassadors, because they have not, like I said, they have not created this program at all. And to some extent, they may be being used themselves in this regard. But I think something needs to change. So anyway, close parentheses. I hope that you receive this. I hope this doesn't sound mean-spirited or anything like that, because I really have been kind of upset. And I woke up this morning and I was like, maybe I'll just buy them. I just want them. I want them. I'll just use an affiliate discode, damn it, and get my sunflower suede. And I was like, no. The principle that you set up 24 hours ago, that you're already wanting to renege on. I do want to kind of take a principled stand here and just be like, Sarita, stick to your guns. If you think that, or look, and there are some Kringle candles that are probably worth more than $20, but we won't know until we buy them. And not enough of them are clear over the $20 mark to be able to justify consistently spending that much. So I just think going forward, I need to wait. If there's a good sale, I will be there. I don't mind. I don't grudge spending the shipping fee. And I don't mind, although it's hard, especially with the FOMO, with all of the reviews, it's hard waiting on an upcoming collection and hoping they don't sell out, etc. But I think I'm going to be doing that going forward. And I kind of have been already, but I am going to wait and pause and wait for those candles to be at a discount that I think is appropriate. And then I'll pull the trigger on it. And I think if enough people do that, if you have disposable income and this means nothing to you, or you really do think that those candles are worth $34 and are willing and able to spend it every time, God bless. Like, I honestly, and I think that if there's enough of you, then Kringle might be okay. My sense is that there are less and less people in that category, and especially in the way that the economy is right now. And I just want to know that I'm there with you. I'm not made of money, and as hard as it is, I'm gonna wait until Kringle gives a good discount. And if they don't, then I'm gonna have to order from other companies or go to other companies that are providing much more reasonable rates and or good availability where you can smell beforehand. That's what I've got to say. I hope that that can be received in a good way from everyone, because like I said, I don't mean it in any kind of malicious way at all to anybody. So yeah. If you have any thoughts about it, I'd love to hear them, as long as we all stay respectful and kind toward everyone who obviously mean well. They really do. Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me for this haul. I would love to say that the reserve candles are gonna go on sale next week, but I don't think they ever will. So I may never smell sunflower and suede, but it's okay, life will go on. And I know the holiday candles are probably gonna be coming out too, and just know that if I don't review them like right off, if they're a good discount, I will buy them and I will review them at some point, because I still am interested in what Kringle is doing. So that's what I've got for you, my friends. Buy Kittens and Cashmere. And this one, cotton flower. Yeah. All right, that's what I've got for you, my friends. I'll see you guys later very soon. Bye.